Hi guys, it's Tony here from One Click Homes, giving you guys a bit of an update. It's been quite a while since I've spoken to everyone, and obviously we're going live today, so it is a new thing for me. And I just wanted to give everyone an update as to where we've been with the market. It has been a year now since lockdown started. We're coming into March, and there's been a big announcement today, so I was going to talk a little bit about that. Talk about what the sales market's been like over the last year, because I started these videos at the start of lockdown when I was kind of, just kind of getting used to working from home, and the property market's been on a bit of a journey over that time. So giving you guys an overview as to what we've been up to as a company in terms of what's been happening, where we think things are going to go over the next few months, how the market was going to perform. Now, what we saw in February of last year, in the lead up to lockdown, was a lot of panic generally in terms of where the market was going to go. In March, we saw quite a few sales falling through, essentially where buyers couldn't get the mortgages they were going to get. What we saw at the time is probably half of the mortgage products on the market were pulled. A lot of buyers who were self-employed, for example, couldn't kind of maintain their mortgages. I dealt with a number of sales where the buyers just couldn't proceed, some on the verge of exchange and not being able to go forward. Other people's job situations changing, a lot of uncertainty in the market generally. And the market, it took a bit of a tumble, if I'm honest with you. Buyers unsure what to do, sellers not confident of getting the prices that we're going to get. So a lot of and then we kind of went into lockdown proper. And if I'm honest, for the best part of 2 months, the sales market was dead. I was working from home at the time. You guys probably saw my videos that were kind of going up there. But what we found was that we, as a company, we adjusted into kind of focusing on the letting side, because the property market didn't stop. I mean, there was a lot of kind of misconceptions at the time in terms of where things were going to go. But the advice from the government was that the property market could continue as best it could. But the way we had to deal with that, because it was all very new, nobody knew what a lockdown was, nobody knew, what we could and couldn't do. So we knew we couldn't kind of go out and do viewings unnecessarily. We knew that we couldn't be in the office. So what we did was kind of capture videos of all the properties. We sent those videos out to tenants and kind of kept landlords in the loop, because as much as the sales market slowed down, people still needed to move generally. So things were happening, completions were happening, but the new sales weren't happening. On the landlord side, they had property that they needed to rent out. A lot of landlords at that time were finding that their agencies closed down literally overnight, couldn't do anything. A lot of new landlords came to us at the time because they saw that we were still trying to do what we could. And the way we did it was taking the videos, sending those videos over by WhatsApp and email to potential tenants, and everything was done online. So the contract signing, and we found a lot of success in the early part of that lockdown by kind of being completely online, in terms of sending the contracts over virtually, sending the virtual tour, sending the videos, and managing to complete lettings move-ins, where a lot of agents just didn't deal with it. So that was a good thing for us in terms of, kind of adapting, finding a way through a tough market at that time. And when the sales market did slow down over that period, as much as some sales were going forward, the new sales were virtually dead. So I kind of shifted my focus onto the letting side. That kind of, it kind of bore fruit in kind of attracting new landlords for us, and gave us a bit of a platform. That's when I started my videos. That's when I kind of gave people the updates. And as the lockdown progressed, what we saw was in the summer of last year was the announcement of the stamp duty holiday from the government, which gave the market a massive boost in terms of people, willing to kind of come on board and try and buy their properties again. Restrictions were lifted. We came out of lockdown. We went back into lockdown, and people got used to it. If I'm honest with you, people found that they could do viewings using the PPE, using the masks, using the gloves, maintaining that social distance. Because at the end of it all, I think what we found was that people still need to move. People still need to make that move. And the more and more people working from home, I guess people found that they wanted a house with a garden, or they didn't mind living a bit further out from London. And that's where our Essex office particularly did quite well, the Gidea Park office, which we opened last year, just before the pandemic. It was a big move for us as a company to kind of come into Gidea Park. And then we were hit with lockdown, and then we were hit with coronavirus. And it was a challenge as a business, but we found a way through it. And towards the tail end of last year, we found a lot of success in that. Our reputation grew as an agency in the local area. More people were moving to this area, coming out of London, looking to buy houses, looking to move into houses with gardens, etc. So it's worked out okay for us. And as lockdown's gone on, we've been quite successful in the sales and the lettings market. thankfully. We've done what we can do. We've kind of improved our name as a company in the local area, and moved on. You know, new members of staff have come in over that time. The business has performed well, so it has been good overall. It's been a market that's been on our side, if I'm honest with you, on the sales side, with lots of new buyers coming on board and looking to buy in those areas. So the market was great. As we came into 2021, there was a lot of kind of questions about where the market was going to go. We had that stamp duty deadline of kind of the end of March hanging over everyone. So people were not sure, you know, are we going to get things done in time? There was a lot of kind of different predictions from different kind of bodies. You know, Rightmove were making predictions about the market generally increasing over the first quarter of 2021 up until that kind of stamp duty deadline. And their prediction was a bit of a leveling off over the rest of the year. Other kind of Zoopla, for example, had a prediction of a 5% increase over the first half of the year and a bit of a slowdown. Other kind of commentators were saying that the market could drop completely. You know, there was kind of some moral panics about, upon the end of the stamp duty, the market taking a tumble and dropping by up to 5%. So if I'm honest, there was lots of different predictions. Nobody really knew what was going to happen. Nobody really knew where the market was going to go. But now we're coming up to the end of the stamp duty holiday, and things are happening. People are still trying to get things moved in. Then we had an announcement today, which is the reason why I thought I'd make this video. There was an announcement from the Chancellor that the stamp duty extension is going to come in place. There's been rumours going around, but we should hear officially next week in the budget. But that's massive news. It's massive news for the property market. That's massive news for us as a company, which basically says to all buyers and all sellers, you know, the pressure is off slightly. We should be getting that extension. But it also, you know, it kind of puts the signal out to all the kind of people who are on the fence or thinking about selling or thinking about buying. Now is the time to kind of jump on board. You know, now is the time to give us a call. Let us know if you need any help and advice. Whether it comes to selling or buying, you know, it's the time to take action, because there's huge savings to be had. For all those people who are thinking about making that move to London, from London to Essex, which is that kind of change that we're advocating from our Leighton office to Arcadia Park office, it's the time to do it. It's the time to kind of make that jump and save the money, because you've got an extra 3 months, but in order to hit that, things need to start now. So if anyone out there is thinking of selling, or thinking about buying and would like mortgage advice or financial advice or anything like that, get in touch, give us a shout, drop us a line, and let us know. So that's our overview. In terms of my forecast for the rest of the year, how we're going to be, it's difficult to say. I think now that we've had this extension, the next few months are going to be fantastic. They're going to be extremely busy. And then after that, I personally don't think there's going to be a massive lull. I think there will be a slowdown. I think the market might stagnate and it will level off. But I can't see a crash or anything like that happening, because generally speaking, people need to move, people need to buy, people need to carry on with their lives. And if there's one thing that this kind of coronavirus has taught us over the last year, it's that we're resilient. You know, we can kind of do things and make things happen. So a big shout out to everyone who's kind of managed with their personal businesses, with their family life. You know, from my own experience, you know, from my wife working from home, but having to kind of, you know, school our son as well. It's been difficult for everyone. And I know everyone's having those struggles, but, you know, I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I think 2021 is going to be a great year for all. And good luck to everyone. Anyone need anything, give us a shout. But that's it from me. That's my update. That's my forecast. I think it's going to be a great year, guys. Enjoy the summer. Speak soon.